creating the weekly sheet. Probably the most important part of a league, aside from the bowlers themselves, is the weekly standing sheet. This is the reference document for the bowlers in regard to where their team stands, tracking individual averages, and a schedule for the upcoming week. As mentioned in a prior link, one of the improvements that I hope to offer the league was a weekly sheet that was easier on the eyes of bowlers who are either entering or are already at the stage of needing reading glasses. One of the great assists that I received toward performing the league secretary job was on opening night of the 1991-1992 season, when one of the MMSTL bowlers, Steve Yarmola, knew I would need help, and he offered to produce copies of the weekly sheet at his work site. All I needed to do was to drop off the master sheet to his home early in the week, and he would subsequently have time to make the copies and have them ready for me to pick up at his house sometime between Tuesday and Thursday of that same week. I mentioned to Steve an idea of folding the sheet into more of a newsletter rather than a flat copy, and he replied, "No problem." I don't remember if his copy machines actually did the folding in the first few years for the newly introduced legal-sized paper, 8.5 by 14. But I do know that when the league migrated to a booklet format with several sheets of letter-sized 8.5 by 11 paper composing the book, Steve's mother and father, Gloria and Steve Sr., would help me out tremendously by folding the sheets into booklets before I arrived to pick up the copies later in the week. All I'd need to do at that point was to add my cover sheet and then staple the spines of the booklets. So the Yarmola family played a huge role in getting the weekly hard copies out to the bowlers.